Ethan Carter sat alone in a small Seattle restaurant, the warm glow of hanging lights casting soft reflections on the window beside him. A bouquet of tulips rested on the table, their bright colors contrasting the growing emptiness he felt inside. He checked his watch again. 30 minutes had passed. His best friend had promised this blind date would be different, that he'd finally meet someone who could make him forget the loneliness that had quietly settled in his life. But as the waiter walked by for the third time, giving a sympathetic smile, Ethan began to lose hope. Couples around him laughed and shared plates, while his table remained painfully still. He tried to convince himself she was just running late, but doubt crept in. Maybe she had changed her mind. Maybe she wasn't coming at all. He sighed, picked up the check, and reached for his wallet when the restaurant door opened. A little girl, no older than 6, stepped inside clutching a teddy bear. Her eyes scanned the room before landing on him. She walked over confidently and said, "Excuse me, are you Ethan? My mommy's sorry she's late." Ethan froze, staring at the unexpected messenger who just changed everything. Ethan stared at the little girl, unsure whether to laugh or be more confused. She smiled brightly, her pigtails slightly uneven, and climbed onto the chair across from him with the confidence of someone who already belonged there. "Mommy told me to tell you she'll be right back. She had to park the car," she explained, setting her teddy bear on the table like it too was part of the meeting. Ethan blinked, then chuckled softly. "Well, thank you, miss. What's your name?" She grinned. "Lily, Mommy showed me your picture so I'd know you." Her words made something in him warm, a gentle crack in the armor of disappointment. They talked for a few minutes about her favorite ice cream, her cat named Whiskers, and how she once tried to make pancakes but burned the kitchen towel instead. Just when Ethan started to forget he was waiting for someone, the restaurant door opened again. A woman hurried in, breathless, auburn hair tumbling over her shoulders. She stopped when she saw them, her daughter chatting happily with a stranger who didn't look so strange anymore. "Hi," she said softly, her cheeks flushed with apology. "I'm Sarah, and I'm so sorry." Dinner started awkwardly, with Sarah apologizing every few minutes and Ethan insisting it was all right. But as they began talking, the uneasiness slowly faded. Sarah told him she was a children's book illustrator who had recently moved from Portland after a difficult divorce. She spoke gently, her words careful yet sincere, while Lily sat beside her, quietly coloring on a napkin. Ethan listened, sharing bits about his work as an architect and how Seattle still felt too big after years of solitude. They found laughter in small things, her disastrous pancake attempts, his habit of overwatering plants. The air between them softened, and soon it didn't feel like a blind date anymore. When dessert arrived, Sarah looked up, her eyes glimmering under the soft restaurant light. "Honestly, I almost canceled tonight," she admitted. "But Lily insisted I come." Ethan smiled, glancing at the little girl who was now fast asleep against her mother's arm. "Smart kid," he said quietly. Outside, the air was crisp and cool as they stepped out together. Sarah looked at him and whispered, "Thank you for waiting." Most people wouldn't have. 2 weeks later, Ethan returned to the same restaurant, but this time the table wasn't empty. Sarah was already there, smiling as she waved him over, her auburn hair tucked neatly behind her ear. Beside her sat Lily, sipping hot chocolate and swinging her legs under the chair. "You made it," Sarah said warmly. Ethan grinned, setting down another small bouquet of tulips. "Wouldn't miss it for the world," he replied. The evening unfolded with easy laughter and stories that flowed like old memories. Sarah seemed lighter, her laughter unguarded, her eyes filled with something that felt like hope. Lily giggled through most of dinner, proudly declaring Ethan her almost friend. When the waitress passed by, she smiled at them and said softly, "You three look like a family." Sarah's cheeks flushed pink. Ethan smiled and Lily simply beamed. As they stepped outside into the cool night, the city lights shimmered on the wet pavement. Sarah slipped her hand into his, hesitant but sure. "I didn't expect this," she whispered. Ethan squeezed her hand gently. "The best things usually happen when we least expect them." Lily skipped ahead, her laughter echoing. "Sometimes love doesn't arrive on time. It walks in holding a teddy bear." Hans smiled gently. "Some things," he said, "are worth waiting for."